gentleman sitting next to me, they have combined for 464 playoff games. Legs clocking in with 3 of those playoff games.
I'll give you a start.
Udonis Haslam bringing the rings, making sure the hardware.
Beautiful.
Kendrick Perkins, Danny Green. I'm Malika Andrews. Gentlemen, why don't we get to this highlight from last night, see who has got one step closer to joining UD with one of those rings here. Legs, this was the first finals game in Gatebridge Fieldhouse in 25 years. Reggie Miller, Caitlin Clark courtside for this one, and they were treated to some exciting bench play in this game. Second quarter here, watch TJ McConnell right here.
Look at this flurry. I mean, you talk about a 4-minute burst that really flipped this game on its head right here with the energy gave him, the hustle with the steals, the offensive rebound, great vision, find somebody.
What a sequence there from McConnell, who was just a pest really all game long here. But he wasn't done. Just a couple of minutes later, Legs.
This is a great job. I love when you attack Oklahoma City one side of the floor. That weak side slash is available because they all watch the ball. And here's TJ McConnell again after the assist. Comes up in the backcourt, forces another turnover.
And he is all the way fired up. So, though, was Benedict Mathurin in this game, UD.
I mean, he's their third leading scorer in the regular season. He's a guy that struggled. But I tell you, TJ McConnell's energy early got him an early layup. And when you're struggling as an offensive player, you need to get something early. I think that sparked him.
His 27 points off the bench, the most by a player off of the bench in a finals game since Jason Terry did it.
Here we go again.
In 2011. Who was the coach of that team? Oh, yeah, it was Rick Carlisle, too. But the Stars, they stepped up big in this one, Perk.
They did. I thought Pascal Siakam set the tone early in the first half, in the half-court setting, and finally Tyrese Halliburton decided to show up in the NBA Finals. He was aggressive all night.
So to the fourth quarter we go here, Danny. Under 9 to play. The Pacers down by 4 here. Again, McConnell, the hustle sequence here. Nembhard gets it, gets the floater to go.
This is what he does. He hangs around, he steals, he gets active, aggressive layups or points or just possessions that gives you your whole building energy.
This one was just absurd to me. He became the first player to have 10 points, 5 assists, 5 steals off of the bench in a finals game since steals became official in 74, and they didn't slow down, Legs.
No, you see how quickly Tyrese Halliburton got into that. He'd give it up, chase it, had the defense retreating, and he just stopped on a dime because he was in a great rhythm from the beginning, really.
Dad is loving it, too, on the sidelines, and then here we go again. He's looking, and watch the attention he draws from OKC defense. Here comes
Got to box out. You know he's high-flying. He had big plays down the stretch, not only on offense, but defense. He had a big block, which kind of was a turning point, momentum shift for the game.
And then 1:20 to go here. SGA can't quite get that one to go. That's his patented shot here, Perk.
Yeah, but you could tell he was tired, man. The Pacers did a great job of searching them out on the defensive side of things, making them use a lot of energy.
Here's Tyrese Halliburton earlier today.
We're taking it a day at a time and just focusing on what's in front of us. And then I think that just trickles down. You know, I think our jobs, me, Pascal, Miles, James, you know, as leaders is to, you know, continue to share the same message that coach has. And, you know, there's nothing to get excited about right now. You know, we're still a long way away, and you just got to take it a day at a time. As far as stress, like, that should be heightened right now. You know, you're playing in the NBA Finals. You know, there should be a higher sense of urgency, a higher level of stress. Your spit should taste different, all those things, right? Like, this is a lot of fun.
And it's a lot of fun to watch this Indiana Pacers team, the way that they were able to gel really from the jump here, Legs. How did they get this done?
Yeah, he's smiling. He's happy. You know why? Because he got loose. He felt freedom. It looked more like the offense that we've come to know with Indiana Pacers. I just thought their intent early was exactly what we've been watching for the last 4 months. They made a determination to get earlier shots in the clock. You look at game 2, I mean, consistently, they were in the last 5 seconds of the shot clock. But defensively, I thought their attention to detail and containment of the ball at the point of attack was everything. Physicality, body placement. Take a look at this one. And he's trying to get to the middle of the floor. That's where he wants to operate. A lot of want to, fighting over the screen. But watch Miles Turner. He's not going to give up on this until he has him corralled. You see another defender, Nesmith, waiting, and then Halliburton just reading that weak side. To me, we talk so much about the Pacers offense and when were they going to get on track. I thought if they don't get the ball containment under control, it doesn't matter what they do offensively. They controlled SGA in this game.
And also the ball containment, but what you talk about in that pick and roll, when we saw Miles Turner up on that pick and roll, a lot of times they've not forced SGA to use the pick and roll. He's been able to reject those pick and rolls, get straight downhill with no defender, and get to his shot. That particular time, he had to use the pick and roll where the help was at.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing we've been talking about in games 1 and 2 is Indiana, we have not been able to see them run. That's because they haven't gotten stops. Their defense was the initiator of their offense. They got a lot of easy ones, couple pick sixes, which gave the energy, the building energy, their team energy, and it trickled into their bench. Their bench was amazing last night. They pretty much won the game for them.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, the elephant in the room is, or in the arena, was Tyrese Halliburton, right? He finally arrived to the NBA Finals. To us box score watchers, right? Yeah, I'm watching the box score when it comes down to you. The first game in this series that he actually outplayed SGA. He outplayed SGA, and I thought that was the thing for me. Being aggressive is one thing going downhill, but I thought it opened up so much. They didn't know how to play him. They didn't know if they were going to trap.
Yeah.
They didn't know if they were going to set, go under the screen. And Rick Carlisle, shame on you.
Tricky.
He lied to us. He lied to us, but I wasn't fooled by that after what he said in game 2 in the post-game interview. You remember he said, oh, yeah, SJ, you could pencil him in for 34. He was lying his ass off. He trapped the hell out of him, didn't he?
Yeah.
In that game 3, great overall physicality, but Tyrese Halliburton, I got to give him his flowers.
But if I would have said to you guys before this series started, hey, Benedict Mathurin is going to be the first player to 20 points for this Indiana Pacers team, and they're going to be up 2-1, what would you have said to me?
I would have said, hell yeah. I picked him yesterday.
He knew.
I said Benedict, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm with you, Perk. I don't know what's going on in Canada. I don't know what's in the middle.
They got something.
I don't know what's going on in Canada.
I'm trying to tell you.
This is the guy who we've been looking for. He was their third leading scorer through the regular season, and people forgot about him. Yesterday, he got going from all 3 levels. He was able to hit the 3. And I'm telling you, when you're a scorer and you're struggling, an easy bucket by T.J. McConnell just to get you a layup means all the difference. And I think that really helped catapult him yesterday. And his mom and his sister came to the game, too. I think the family came. You're going to show out for your family.
I think his whole playoffs turned at the end of the Knicks series. He had a 5-game stretch where he scored a total of 15 points in 5 playoff games, averaged 3 points a game. This guy averaged 17 in the regular season. People were wondering, he lost confidence, like what's going on? He had a game at the end of the Knicks series. He got to the line 11 times, had 20 points in 16 minutes. He's been good to go ever since. And last night, he looked like the most comfortable offensive player on the floor.
Yeah.
He got into his rhythm. That mid-range was automatic. He hit a couple of threes and, again, got to the line 8 times.
Offensively, clearly, this was a very comfortable team back at home. They know these Nets. Defensively, it was the best showing we've seen on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, so far in this series.
100%. It's like Perk and UD was saying, they switched up their coverage defensively. They trapped him some, they corralled him, and the others showed up on the bench. And so it started with Mathurin. But if you would have said Mathurin would have been leading the scoring, I would have said you're crazy. But it just goes to show how deep this team is. They're so good. They have night in, night out. It could be Obi Toppin, it could be Nesmith, it could be TJ McConnell, it could be Mathurin. They have so many guys that can score from the multitude of levels that they don't need Tyrese Halliburton to have 30 every night for them to win.
But that goes to show you how deep both of these squads are, because all the Pacers did was get they lick back at the crib. So we saw Ben go for 27, but we also had Aaron Wiggins who went for 20 at home in game 2.
And Alex Caruso.
Yeah, and Alex Caruso.
Yes.
So, I mean, it just goes to show you the depth of both of these squads. Coming in the series, I didn't have Ben or Aaron Wiggins on my bingo card to come out and do something.
Yeah, I didn't know what that one is. What do you think? Let's take a listen to the other side of all of this, because this was a little bit of a flat performance from the Oklahoma City Thunder, but that's something that we've come to know that they do here in these game 3s. Here's what they had to say.
How much did you feel like those body blows made fatigue a factor? How can you mitigate that and try to fight through it, figuring they're going to take a similar approach?
Yeah, you got to suck it up. You have to. There's maximum 4 games left in this season, and it's what you work the whole season for. It's what you work all summer for. So the way I see it is, you gotta suck it up, get it done, and try to get a win.
So the Thunder were up 5 heading into the fourth quarter. After they went on that run with SGA off of the floor. And I was kind of thinking, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But these are the games that behoove the Indiana Pacers, those tight games here, Perk. Do you think this is a missed opportunity for OKC?
Absolutely not. They should be confident after this game.
Okay.
Think about, game 3 in the Denver series, games 3 in the Minnesota. They got smoked and stomped out. They were actually in this game. And a few mistakes on their side. See, the Thunder, this team is a team of film, right? Like, they go back and they watch film and they could adjust. The great thing about it, they had mistakes throughout this game that they actually can control, right? Like, we saw those turnovers in the inbounds. Like, you can control that. right? We saw SGA getting trapped in the screens trying to make these cross-court passes. You could control that. Jalen Williams, non-SGA minutes, when you had a ball in your hands and you're trying to drive down the paint, you can control that. Because now you can see on film, hey, when they're playing you like this guy's open, this guy's open, that guy's open. So they have things that they control. They should not feel like they have a missed opportunity. They came down here to get two, but they get one. That's a great.
I'm going to disagree with you here, Perk. I think they for sure missed out on an opportunity, and this was a chance for them to show some maturity, which they didn't. Yes, there's a lot of positive. They can look at the film and say we could have been better. They should have been. They were up 5 going into the fourth quarter, lost by 9. It's a 14-point quarter swing that they shouldn't have lost. Simple mistakes of playing hero ball, not trusting the offense, and the little turnovers.
Yes.
They missed 4 free throws down the stretch. These are things that a mature team would put a team like this. This is a team that should be up 3-0, honestly. You're up 15 in game 1, lose that game. Game 2 you won. Game 3, this is a game that you normally would win, but it came down to execution and maturity. And OKC, the reservations everybody had for them from the beginning of the playoff series, it showed last night.
I think they what they saw last night, they didn't bully this team. Oklahoma City's bullied teams all year.
Yeah.
And they do it by stringing together stops and frustrating you, fueling that into turnovers, right? Points off of turnovers. 3 different times last night, they threw a punch at them right at the start of the game. All they have pressure in this building, and they're down 19-10 immediately to Pacers.
Yeah.
They punched back, take the lead. Started the second half, first 8 points, OKC in 2 minutes. They take the lead again.
Right.
Indiana punched back, and then finally, down 5, they punch back in
Right.
the fourth quarter. OKC's not used to having teams do that when you feel like they're starting to string together stops. Indiana broke through last night in a big way.
I thought from the get-go, Chet Holmgren was so aggressive. When I saw that UD, I said, oh, okay, this could be a game that goes the way of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
13 in the first quarter, but 20 for the game. 0 for 6 from 3. I felt like he was a guy who they could have kept feeding, but then he was 0 for 6 from 3. And Miles Turner came in and played good defense, so you got to give credit there. But like Danny said, there was a lot of hero ball going on. When you get in the paint, you got to spray to guys, different things like that. But I'll tell you, not only the offense, but the defense, not only the defense, but the offense they played on SGA. He was in every action. He was getting hit on every screen and everything, and that wears on you on a 48-minute game.
Did he look tired to you down the stretch of this game?
That last Siakam, he didn't even make an effort. And I'm telling you, I've seen this against the New York Knicks when they put Brunson and they put Cat in that 2-man pick and roll. One of those guys are going to make a mistake after they get hit for 48 minutes. And you see the wear on them, and you see what happens at the end of a game.
I would not overreact to this because we saw the same action in game 1. And we saw how SGA responded in game 2.
Right.
They picked on him in game 1 as well. In that turnaround, when they came back, he got scored on a lot. All of a sudden, he responded, not just offensively. He had 4 steals in that game 2 defensively. That young man will respond.
Why he got to respond? Once you check that box, why we got to go back to that?
It's a growing pain.
Once we check that box and you getting picked on,
He
you have to go back to that. Hell no.
What to do is growing
I'm not going to tell D-Wade once. I'm not going to tell D-Wade twice. I'm going to tell him once, and he going to get it.
Well, they have come back from down 2-1 in the Western Conference. Deals became official in 74. Perk, did you ever turn on the TV after you had a good game, see what your teammates were saying about you?
You damn right.
TJ McConnell should have done that because the Thunder
Wasn't
also
many,
felt
but
some
I
type of
turned
way.
it on.
It sucked. Just bad, unforced turnovers. Those usually hurt you, especially in these games where there's like such high stakes and it's going to be separated by 1 or 2 possessions. We had a lot of uncharacteristic turnovers that also led to touchdowns.
Those plays hurt, especially because they're very controllable. You can take your time and amount of the ball, but you make mistakes in basketball, no matter the stage. And we definitely had opportunities to cover those things up, but also don't let plays like that happen. It just goes back to being tighter, being more focused, being more forceful all night, and things like that really hurt for sure.
Well, that was the TJ McConnell effect. 5 steals, 3 of them in the backcourt. That's the most by any player in a playoff game since player tracking began in 2014. I spoke to TJ just about an hour ago. Take a listen. Here now with TJ McConnell. And TJ, one of the things I love about this team is it feels like everybody has a story, and you do too. 6'1", undrafted, and now here you are 10 years in, playing in the NBA Finals, getting steals on inbound passes that I don't know how you're getting. How much do you reflect on that?
Really, I know for me, I can't speak for everyone, but I'd like to think so that just kind of stay in the moment and not really reflect on what we've done or a lot about our careers. For me, it's just being in the moment and focusing on Game 4.
Game 3, you became the first player off the bench in an NBA Finals game to have 5 assists and 5 steals. Please excuse the pun here, but how much pride do you take in being the lightning that sort of affects this Thunder team?
Yeah, I just try to do my job.
Yep.
It sounds super cliche, but just try to come in and inject energy when we need it and get my teammates the ball and shoot when I'm open. That's kind of been what I've done my whole career, and I'm not trying to change that.
Father's Day's coming up. You had a lot of your family in attendance last night. One of my favorite moments was your grandpa with Pascal Siakam after the game. And what the heck is that about? He's more excited to see Pascal than you?
Yeah, I love my grandfather dearly, but he did seem a little bit more excited to see Pascal than he was to see me. But it was good to have him in attendance. He hasn't been able to make it to too many games, so it was a good family night for us.
It's wonderful to be able to share that with your family.
For
TJ,
sure.
Thank you so much. Good luck in Game 4.
Thank you.
Appreciate TJ as always for the time here. All right, Perk, you're a chiropractor. What adjustments do you need to see made here in Game 4?
Well, get your damn identity back. Right? If you're the Thunder, stop worrying about offense. Stop worrying about who's going to score buckets. You're here because you're one of the best defensive teams that we've seen in the history of the game. That's how you get back to who you are, defending at a high level, not melting into screens, not getting rejected into screens, being up on the pick and roll. Like, those are the things, deflections, high hands. And I will say this last but not least, go back to your big lineup.
That's what Legler was saying before the game.
Go back to your big, because Casey Wallace is giving you absolutely nothing right now. And with that double big lineup, it takes the pressure off of Chet Holmgren. He was exhausted last night.
Yes.
And look, if you're going to, I hear what you're saying, Perk, about get your identity being defensive. I agree. But there's also an offensive adjustment I think you can make as well.
I agree.
Tell me if these two things add up. He got blitzed more than he has in any game in the postseason, and they took 22 threes.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly low number. No. So what was that telling you? They weren't making them pay out of that, and I think one of the reasons is Casey Wallace he's a really good player. He's played 80 minutes in this series. He has 17 points. Wiggins had 20 in one game, only got 10 minutes last night. Some of those plays out of the double teams can lead to a shot.
Yes.
And Wiggins is a guy that can hurt you. So maybe that's another adjustment. Maybe Wallace take his minutes back a little bit, give Wiggins more run next game.
Are you sacrificing a little bit of offense for defense in that case?
I'm just saying I'm going back to the hero ball thing.
Okay.
The reason why they didn't get the threes, in today's NBA, everybody hates the threes, but 22 is not enough to win a basketball game. Not in today's NBA. So you got to spray out. You got to make the easy pass, and that became the isolation. The hero ball is why they didn't get those looks. Casey Wallace not giving anything because he's not getting anything. It's all one-on-one, my turn, your turn. Chet came out aggressive and scored well, and after that he took some bad possessions and bad shots. So did J-Dub, even though he scored well. But these are all isolation. This is not OKC identity. This is not how they play offensively, and I think they need to play less hero ball, more kicking and spraying, and letting Casey Wallace and Aaron Wiggins and those guys help you out by finding them on the perimeter.
Joe too.
Not to mention
He got a stroke.
Understandably, when we say adjustments, we automatically go to the team that lost, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But you got to believe that the Indiana Pacers right now, they are thinking about what they can even do better because they know they're going to get a stronger punch from the Oklahoma City Thunder here in Game 4. There was something that changed that you were calling for from the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton. What was that? How can we see that applied?
I'm feeling like a prophet. I'm feeling like a prophet today. I called out the Benedict Mathurin and I called out the pick and roll with the 5.
And you got the 2 rings that Perk just stole.
Yeah, so we see this now. This is a semi-transition, but look how far Chet is right now. He comes off. He can get the throwback if he wants to. He elects to get the flotation device. Easy money right now. Now we come off the 5-man again. They go under. We twist it to get a better angle. Can we get downhill? Can we get the flare? No, we're going to pull out like we left our phone because you too far low. You too far down. Take that with you. Get back, team. Now we come here, and I love this because he held this in his pocket to the fourth quarter. He did not make this play all game, and it was open. Come off, he revert. He comes back off and twist again because you know you're going to get an angle. Now look at that skip pass. We got a diving guy to the basket, so SGA has to wait. We get Nate Smith on a wide open 3. The timing of that, I'm telling you, that was definitely strategic because he had that pass and he held that in his pocket to the fourth quarter. I said they were going to use the 5-man for a screen. No more screening guard on guard because you're going to run into another bulldog.
And that's advice from a champion.
And that was actually great. That was a great film right there. But let me say this. We talk about the Indiana pace for us getting up and down. those clips showed they ran pace in their half-court sets. Like, we got to praise that. Tyrese Halliburton had a little...
If they're able to get to that is the style of play that is going to behoove the Indiana Pacers in this series. I don't know. It feels like there might be some energy shifting around. It's a little schools out edition. Let's start with some study abroad programs, shall we? Victor Wembanyama spending some time training in China, but check this out. He's apparently training with some monks at the Shaolin Temple, fully shaved head and all. Danny, did the Spurs ever have you do a summer in a monastery?
No, we did not. But we did do a military-based thing where we had to do an obstacle course, and we had some crazy wild childs crawling through the mud, doing the ropes, climbing ladders. But this is a mature young man. I don't think I would have ever done this at 21, 22 years old. I don't know how old he is, but yeah, this is something I still probably wouldn't do in my 30s, but I would love to experience it one day.
You know what? I imagine this takes a lot of discipline, and he's going to learn a whole lot. Keeping our international theme going, Giannis, he just stamped his name on a new court in Rio. He posed with his Bucks jersey at one of the world's most iconic landmarks. Perk, that shot of him holding up the Bucks jersey in front of Christ the Redeemer, a statement of loyalty, maybe?
Yeah, but first of all, his hair is not that damn good, so shout out to whoever did the drawing on the floor. Right? But shout out to Giannis, though, man. Giannis, you know what? Following Giannis in the offseason is one of the best things going, right? He gonna let you know every single thing he doing. He can be enjoying while putting in the work.
He absolutely will, like when he tells us about his smoothie flavors and things like that. All right, from Rio to some conversation. Giannis may be lighting up Brazil, but the NBA world still locked in on Kevin Durant's next move. And our Shams reporting that the Suns in Durant's camp, they're actively sorting through the options. 5 teams clearly in the mix: Houston, San Antonio, Miami, the Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. And speaking of Shams, he's joining us now. Shams, what more can you tell us about your reporting that KD's teams that are interested in trading for him?
Malika, there is traction on Kevin Durant trade scenarios, and there are some teams that are motivated to get a deal done sooner rather than later. And so we'll see. Will something happen here before the NBA draft? Does this linger into June 25th, 26th, or closer to that NBA draft period? But those are the 5 teams where the Suns are most focused at. There are some wild card suitors as well, but what this could end up coming down to is he's on an expiring contract upwards of $50 million. So is this all going to be contingent on him accepting a long-term deal? Will there be a team that simply swings for him, gets him in the mix, and just sees, can we make it to the finals? How deep can we go? I've been saying it for the last several months. Which team believes they're a Kevin Durant away from winning a championship? That's what this could come down to. He is by far the biggest available domino left on the market.
And that's going to crystallize here between now, possibly the NBA draft, or could it extend into the days and weeks following that? But remember, Kevin Durant, he's going to turn 37 in September. He's not slowing down, though. When you look at his numbers, 26.6 scoring average, if we show the full screen right now, for a player age 36 or older, trailing a pair of legends, right? LeBron James seasons here. When you look at his numbers, they're pretty remarkable. You can see why Shams is terming this as which team is a Kevin Durant away, because he's still that potent of a player. This is the big question. Where should he end up? And big questions, they require big lists.
I still got him mad even though I'm out the league. I'm feeling big. Ken Perkins, tell her walk if she asks for a Birkin.
You will speak when spoken to. Give me some energy.
Bam.
That's it?
Put it up there.
I'm feeling big. Ken Perkins. I'm feeling big. Ken Perkins.
Oh, hey, Sean.
They got a song?
Yeah, they got a song. But listen, here's the thing, bro. You liking this bumping, huh? How can it be?
It's a nice little beat.
And I get it. This is your first time being a part of this segment.
They got a song? I didn't
now listen,
know.
hold
Did
on.
Carter make the beat?
Hold on. This is not your list. This is not Danny list or Malika list. They know this. You will speak when spoken to, and you will bring the necessary energy that it requires. Otherwise, you will not be part of this segment again. Okay? It's Big Perks, big list of best destination, of dreams destination for Kevin Durant. Coming in at number 5, put it up there. Bam! This might surprise a lot of y'all, maybe not. The San Antonio Spurs. You know why? Because they got culture. They got Victor Wembanyama. They got De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. They got the pieces there. KD could go there and actually elevate this team to be in the postseason and compete for a title. We know Victor is young, but he has an old soul. He wants to win now. You have a young stud, an evil genius, and the coach that they have right now, San Antonio is number 5 on the list. DG, your bow-legged ass. Give me some energy.
Now walking to the board today. Give me some energy
up here,
That's
boy.
a low blow.
Bam.
Put it up there.
All right.
I said, put it up there.
Bam. There we go.
The Houston Rockets. You know why? They got a lot of great assets. So you could give up a lot while still remaining and keeping a Şengün, Tari Eason, Amon Thompson, and you have a coach in Ime Udoka who is not going to stand for anything else but holding Kevin Durant and his team accountable. This team finished second in the Western Conference last year, took Golden State to a 7-game series. They're on the rise. Malika, give me some energy.
Bam!
I like that. Bam! Put it up there. The Minnesota. Ant-Man said KD is his favorite player. We saw their connection when they were down there in the Olympics. What did Anthony Edwards need this postseason? He needed a guy to take the pressure off him, especially when they got to the Western Conference Finals, a certified number 2 that could go get buckets so it could open it up for Anthony Edwards. Coming in at number 2. Shams, remember, you better bring the energy. Bring the energy, damn it.
Bam!
There we go. There we go. I like it.
I got you.
The Detroit Pistons.
Whoa.
Why not?
I like it.
Why wouldn't you want to
I
go
like
play
it.
with Cade Cunningham? Did you see what they did last year? They have the assets. They have JB Bickerstaff who has established a culture there. Right? You bring KD there alongside Cunningham with the way that the East is wide open going into next season. I actually like that. Coming in at number 1. I'm putting it up there. Bam! Put it up there loud. The Knicks.
Oh, man.
The Knicks. They just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You talking about putting Kevin Durant alongside of Jalen Brunson. Forget whatever else is over there. Carl Anthony, Jalen Brunson and KD alone. Right? We're talking about JB, who's one of the best, if not showed the best Eastern Conference player, the best player in the Eastern Conference. You put him alongside with Kevin Durant in New York City. The Big Apple is going to be lit again. Shams, great job. This is my list. Big perks, big list of dream Durant destination.
I just wonder if Detroit, again, the timeline conversation, the age conversation, if that is one that fits. But what type of player? I mean, they're getting we showed the numbers before. What type of player would Kevin Durant be for one of these teams?
I mean, we all know he can score the ball, and he's very great at that. I mean, at 37, we have to see how his body's going to hold up. But he gives you that killer. He gives you that finisher that Houston is looking for. San Antonio is younger. New York is looking for that too, but I don't think it changes these groups defensively. And I think you have to give up too much to get him. So it's going to be hard to stay afloat or stay in that contention when you get a player like this, because you have to give up an OG Anunoby or a Josh Hart or a Mitchell Robinson for a New York Knicks team. Minnesota would make sense, but they would have to deplete a lot of their bench and their roster. So, yes, he's a great offensive threat, but I don't know if this helps these groups get over the edge defensively.
Well, one thing that Shams reported that I thought was really interesting in all of this is that the Phoenix Suns are working with Kevin Durant and with Rich Kleiman in trying to find a mutual partner here. So it's not just the return package that the Suns get, right, Shams? It's also finding a place for KD.
Yeah, it's sifting through the options that are there, right? And that's what I reported yesterday is the Suns have gotten offers. They're having conversations with interested teams and working with Rich Kleiman, Kevin Durant's longtime business partner, on figuring out what makes sense for him, what makes sense for them as an organization. And then, again, it takes 2 to tango. So which team steps up out of this mix? Could there be a wild card team as well? Because, you know, especially when you look at the Eastern Conference, if you're a team like a Miami, do you feel like this conference is wide open? That's another thing that I've heard in the last few days is there a team in the East, particularly that believes they are a Kevin Durant away?
If I'm a team and I'm trying to get Kevin Durant, I would approach with caution. I would not give up the house to bring in Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, Kevin Durant is an all-time great. Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. But over the past few years, Kevin Durant is not a needle mover. He's not moving the needle. He is not moving. We could go how we want to go, but history is telling us from his Brooklyn stint to now his Phoenix stint, we thought that these were championship caliber teams.
I don't know. They're going to toe away.
I'm with you in certain situations, but there are situations where he can be a big needle mover, like a Golden State. Where
He don't want to go to Golden State, though.
As much as he doesn't want to be there,
They
he doesn't
tried
have
that
to be a
already.
leader there. He has Draymond there. He don't have to be the alpha. He can be a scorer and be alongside Steph and Draymond. And if they could keep Jimmy with that makes them a really good group. But they probably have to give up Jimmy and Kuminga or whoever else in company to get him.
But that's what being a Kevin Durant away means, right? It's about looking at the fit with the team that he is coming into, not just what everybody else is giving up, and making that calculation. As Shams is saying, this could go on a couple more days, this could go on a couple more weeks, and we will be here every step of the way to see what KD's next destination